What's up, and welcome back to another episode of DNR Sports. My name's Richie, and today I will be going over the AFC North's record predictions, going game by game, week by week, and deciding the outcomes of each game, ultimately getting to my final goal of the total division record for each division. This is actually the 8th and final video, so as you can see on the right and left sides of your screen, most of the divisions are already filled out already. Obviously you can see them now, but it would be really appreciate if you can go to each of those videos and see my explanation for each game and why I would pick a certain game a certain way. But this is the final division. This is the AFC North. As you can see, some of these weeks are already filled out, but I still am going to go game by game and say why I picked the certain winners for each game. I also did some research prior to each video, and I looked at the roster and the depth chart of each team, each division rather, prior to the video, as you can see in the top bracket, the top of the screen. By now I have a pretty decent understanding of each team and their strengths and weaknesses, as well as the losses and the additions they had during the offseason. But with that being said, I'm going to get right into it, and we're going to go with the final, but definitely not the worst, division, the AFC North. So starting off, I had the Steelers actually losing to the Bills here. I think the Bills roster is just way too solid. And the Steelers did lose some key pieces on the offensive line, on the defense this season. So I think it's going to hinder them a little bit. Chiefs, man, Browns couldn't got a worse break to get. I honestly, truly, I love the Browns this season. I just think this is a tough break week one against a very good Chiefs team against Andy Reid. Let's keep going here. I have the Bengals actually losing to the Vikings because I think Joe Burrow probably won't be 100% just yet. And I think the Vikings are going to take advantage of that, control the clock, ground and pound, and they will come out victorious here. And finally, where are the Ravens? I skipped over them. I have the Ravens actually over the Raiders. I don't really like the Raiders too much this season, but I love the Ravens. I love Lamar Jackson, and I think they did a really good job this offseason, getting him help, getting him weapons, solidifying the line, and helping the defense out a little bit. But with that being said, we'll get into week 2. And I think the Texans are an absolute dumpster fire, so Browns get their first win in week 2 of the NFL season. I also have I almost said the Bills over the Dolphins. That's the wrong video. I said the Chiefs over the Ravens again. Again, less about the Ravens and more about the Chiefs and their dominance in September. I think this one could be a very, very good game, similar to the Cleveland game, but I have the Chiefs beating both of those teams. I have the Steelers over the Raiders. Again, don't really like the Raiders. I think the Steelers have a nice bounce back win in week 2. And finally, I actually have the Bears over the Bengals, just for the sole reason that I like the Bears defense a little bit more than the Bengals. Again, Joe Burrow probably won't be fully healthy. Now going into week 3, I get to pick. Wow, I'm so surprised now. Steelers, Bengals, week 3. Give me Steelers. Again, Joe Burrow probably won't be completely healthy, and I think Steelers are still a force to be reckoned with. Not as great as they used to be, but I think they're still very solid. Now going down, Browns versus Bears. Again, less about the Bears and more about the Browns and their dominance. And the Browns roster is just so good. I wouldn't be surprised if they were up there with the Chiefs or the record of, I don't know, the Bills, with just absolute dominance. And then down here, Ravens versus Lions. I just really can't see the Lions being all that good this season. I don't love Dan Campbell. I don't love what he's bringing. I think the team is still trying to pick up the pieces from what Patricia left them. So I think this is an easy win for the Lions. I think that's it, right? Yep. Now going into week 4, I actually have the Jaguars over the Bengals. Again, still the Joe Burrow effect. I think he'll probably be fully healthy by this point. But I do like the Jaguars, and I think that they're a solid team all around. I think they have a little bit of a better defense than the Bengals. Continuing on, I like the Ravens over the Broncos for the sole reason that I don't like Drew Lock. I love the Broncos roster, but Ravens also have a very, very, very solid roster. And I think Lamar Jackson's versatility as a passer and a runner is going to help them in so many games this season. Let's see. Browns over Vikings. I think the Browns are literally just a better version of the Vikings, to be honest. Better defense, better offense. And Stefanski, of course, gets his win against his former team. And finally, I have the Packers over the Steelers. And I think that's not even saying anything against the Steelers. That's just the Packers are just a very dominant team, especially at home. And the Packers, only got better this offseason, while the Steelers, I feel like, got worse. I know Steelers fans aren't going to love hearing that, but I'm not in love with your team this year. But anyway, continuing on, I actually have the Browns over the Chargers. I think Chargers are going to be a little bit slow to start this year. And I think the Browns are just going to roll right into it because I think they're confident. I think they like where they were at the end of last season, being in the divisional round and nearly knocking off the Chiefs. So I have the Browns here against the Chargers. I have the Steelers at home beating the Broncos. Again, I don't really like Drew Lock. I do think if Broncos had a different quarterback, a better quarterback, they could beat the Steelers here. But Steelers at home against a quarterback, I like them. I like the matchup there. I also have Ravens over Colts. Again, Lamar Jackson's versatile. I think they have a little bit more time to prepare, and I do like the Ravens coaching staff a little bit more than the Colts coaching staff. And finally, rounding out the AFC North with the Packers over the Bengals. For some reason, I always think that Rodgers struggles in Cincinnati. He might. Maybe this game is closer than people expect, but I think ultimately Green Bay will actually take this one. Let's see. Now in week 6, I have a little bit of an upset here. I actually have Chargers over the Ravens because I really do like their Chargers roster. I wonder do I still want to keep? My bad. Do I still want to keep that though? I think I will. I really like Herbert. I mean, I know everyone else does, but I really like him as a thrower. He does have some sneaky speed to him as well. I think if the Chargers can limit Lamar's running ability by bringing maybe Nasir Adderley or even Derwin James into the box on a QB spy, I think they could limit Lamar Jackson's ability, and Herbert can find a way to generate some offense for this team. So I will hold the Chargers here. A little bit of an upset pick over the Ravens. Let's see. I have Browns over Cardinals. Although I do like the Cardinals a lot this year. Again, I think the Browns are just going to be unstoppable. I think they're going to be rolling teams. I think the only teams they'll probably have issues with are they're in their own division. But outside of that, I think Browns are going to be very good against everyone else. I have the Bengals picking up a win here against the Lions. It says I just don't really like the Lions at all. I think the Bengals are much better, especially offensively against than the Lions. So I have them picking up a win here in week 6. And finally, I have Seattle over the Steelers because, again, I'm not really a huge Steelers fan. I think Big Ben is kind of overrated at this point. And I think Seattle will be able to take advantage of a weakened Steelers defense and pass all over them and score a lot of points. Coming in, though, at week 7, I have the Browns over the Broncos. Again, love the Browns. On a shortened week 2 at home. Give me that all day. Ravens, Bengals. Give me Ravens. Bengals have had a really, really tough time over the past few seasons trying to stop Lamar Jackson, and I don't think it starts in the season. So give me Ravens over the Bengals, and the Steelers are on bye. So that would be week 7. Now on to week 8, we have the Steelers, Browns. Steelers off the bye. I'm actually going to take Steelers here off the bye. Again, I think the one weakness that the Browns are going to have is against their own division. But I could definitely see this going the Browns' way as well. I'm just going to pick the Steelers because they are on bye. And again, their team is also solid as well. Let's see. Going down the list a little bit, I have Bengals over the Jets. I'm just not sure what I'm getting from the Jets. I know their defense is more improved, but their secondary is still a question mark, and the Bengals have the perfect answer against the Jets secondary. A lot of good receivers, so I think they'll be able to pass all over them, outscore the Jets, and then pick up a victory in week 8. The Ravens are on bye, and that'll be it. Yep, because we have an interdivisional matchup. Awesome. Moving on to week 9, we have Browns versus Bengals, and I'm going to take the Browns here. I don't know how to feel about the Bengals. I do like Joe Burrow. I just don't know if that team's complete enough yet to compete with a team that's as complete as the Browns are. So I'll take the Browns here on the road against the Bengals in week 9. Continuing on. Let's see. Going down here. Ravens versus Vikings. Ravens off a bye. I'll take the Ravens purple over the Vikings purple. I think the Ravens are more versatile. They're more dynamic, and they're going to be able to beat the Vikings here at home. Similar with the Steelers. I think the Bears are inexperienced, especially at the quarterback position. I think the Steelers are just a better team, especially at home. More preparation, and they will pick up a victory here. And that's it. Yes. All right, going on to week 10. I have the Ravens beating the Dolphins on the road on Thursday night. It's just a question of coaching staff, and I do like the Ravens coaching staff more than I like Miami's. Although, a lot of credit to what's his name? I'm blanking on his name. This is my 8th video for today. Whatever. Flores, Mike Flores, something Flores. Credit to Flores, but I do like Harbaugh and Greg Roman and what they're doing in Baltimore. Going down the list a little bit more. Next category, I have the Steelers beating the Lions at home Lions off a bye again. I don't really like the Lions. I think the Steelers should be able to steamroll this team. Let's see. Bengals are on a bye, and I have the Browns here over the Patriots. Again, I just really love what the Browns are doing. Maybe Patriots find a way, a Belichickian way to win. But for now, I'm going to take the Browns here over the Patriots in Week 10. Now on to Week 11. I have the Chargers actually beating out the Steelers. Again, I think Chargers, I say again, if you watch the other videos, I think Chargers are going to find their rhythm at the end of the season. They have a new coaching staff, so it's going to be a new scheme for Herbert. I think he'll finally find his footing. I think they'll be on a roll with that roster and the amazingness that is the Chargers. They'll be less incompetent than they have been in the past few years. So I think the Steelers will get the bad end of that, and they will lose to the Chargers on the road. I think the Bengals off the bye will beat the Raiders. Again, not a huge fan of the Raiders, but I think the Bengals are a solid team. They just need a few more years and a better defense and a better offensive line. I think they'll be very solid. Actually, if the Bears upsetting the Ravens here off the bye, I picked this one for the NFC North for those Bears fans out there. Again, I could definitely see that going the Ravens' way, but I'm just gonna pick it like this. I'm gonna keep it like this. At this point, I'm just like whatever. And then Browns versus Lions. Moving on. Week 12. Finally get a matchup. Bengals versus Steelers. And this might be a little controversial. I know people aren't going to like that very much. But Bengals found a way last season to manhandle the Steelers later in the season. And that was without Joe Burrow. So I think Bengals will find a way to beat the Steelers again here at home. Because I'm not really a huge fan of the Steelers and what they can do down the stretch. Especially after seeing them crumble after starting the season 11-0. And now next game, Browns and Ravens. I think because Ravens are at home, I'll take the Ravens here. But I think it can go either way. Either one could win that game. And moving on to Week 13, I have Chargers over the Bengals because I think the Chargers are going to be rolling. They have a better roster. And at this point, Herbert's a better quarterback than Burrow. But I think they're both very solid in their own right. Moving on, we have Ravens versus Steelers. And again, I'm going to take Ravens here. I could definitely see the Steelers eking this one out, but I think the Ravens are just too solid for the Steelers, and the Steelers even almost blew a lead to the Ravens last season with Trace McSorley as quarterback, so not a good look there. And Browns are on bye, so now moving on to Week 14, Ravens, Browns get this one off a bye at home, slam dunk win for the Browns. I think they'll finally get over that hump and take down the Baltimore Ravens. Moving on, I have the Niners against the Bengals. I know I just missed the Steelers, but I'll go back to it. This is just Niners are just better than most teams. They have a very, very good roster, and I think Bengals aren't going to be able to stop their run game. And then similarly with the Steelers, I don't think the Steelers, although they have a very, very solid front seven, I think the Vikings are better here offensively. And I think the Steelers are going to get taken down by the Vikings on a short week on Thursday night. So give it to the home team, and that's a win for the Vikings. Now moving on to Week 15, I have Bengals actually beating the Broncos because I think at this point it's probably going to be Teddy Bridgewater, or it's probably not going to be Locke, unless the Broncos pop off, of course. So I'll give it to the Bengals here because they sometimes play teams pretty close and pretty nastily. So I'll give it to the Bengals here on Week 15 on the road. I have the Browns here beating the Raiders on the road. I think again Browns are just very solid. I have the Steelers here beating the Titans at home. And my main argument for this is Steelers were going to absolutely destroy the Titans last season. If it wasn't for Big Ben trying to throw them back into the game, I don't think that'll happen this time. I think the Steelers will defeat the Titans. And then Ravens, I have them beating the Packers. I know it's kind of weird, right? I had the Ravens losing to the Bears, now beating the Packers, but Ravens at home, I think it'll give Packers a little bit of fits because looking at the Packers roster, I don't see them having anyone that's going to be able to contain Lamar Jackson. So I think the Ravens will run wild with this one. They'll be able to keep up with the Packers offense, and the Ravens will ultimately get the win. Then moving on to Week 16. I really am tempted to give the Bengals a win here, but again, they just had a tough time. They always have a tough time containing Lamar Jackson, so I think this won't change here. I have the Steelers losing to the Chiefs. Again, Chiefs are just insane, and they're at home. So, sorry, Steelers fans. And then here, Packers at home. Never bet against Packers at home. They beat the Browns. Moving on to the second to last week of the season, I have Chiefs over the Bengals. Again, it's the Chiefs. Divisional matchup here, Steelers versus Browns on the road. End of season, I got to give it to the Browns. Again, I'm just not sure what I'm getting from the Steelers team at the end of the season. I mean, I hope they play well, but I'm just not sure what I'm getting. And then I got Ravens here at home beating the Rams. Again, Ravens are just a more complete team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And finally made it after many hours of video making. We are here, week 18, the final week of the 2021 season. Browns win. They beat the Bengals. And if Ravens win here, they get the division. If Steelers win, they knock off the Ravens. Steelers win. Might be crazy to think about, but I think the Steelers will come back here and they beat the Ravens in the final week of the season. A little bit of an upset, because if Ravens win, you see they get the division. They get the 3 seed. But I think Browns will get the 3 seed. Steelers will play tough against their division rivals. I think it's going to be a little bit of an upset here, and this is going to be it. This is the final rankings. But I'll go over it in another video, and I'll do the playoffs as well. But yeah, so starting off, Browns get the number 1 spot in the AFC North, going 13-4 with a 4-2 divisional record. Ravens getting the 2nd spot, going 12-5 and 4-2. Steelers, again, I know some people like them going about 12-5. I don't. After doing this, I don't like that. I think their offensive line and their defense lost too many pieces, and Big Ben is aging too much. So I see them going 8-9 with a 3-3 divisional record, and the poor Bengals, I'm sorry guys, going 5-12 with a 1-5 record. I think this one's closer. Maybe the Steelers could be a little bit higher, and same with the Bengals. But for the most part, I'm actually pretty happy with this outcome here. But wow, this is it. The end of a journey. I finally went through. Like I said, it's not 256 games anymore, right? It's whatever it is, like 272 whatever games now. But if you guys made it this far in the video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up, a subscribe, maybe turn on post notifications for more videos for our daily uploads. You guys are awesome if you made it this far. This has been the end. A long journey. One more video. I'll do playoffs. I'll do Super Bowl predictions. But yeah, if you guys made it this far in the video, thanks so much for watching. I've been Richie from DNR Sports. I'll see you in the next one.
Never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right.